Hello, my name is Lehan. I'm from Vietnam. I'm an LSI student, and I'm here to promote my film, The Great Game of Man. The film The Great Game of Man is actually about only the chessboard, and it discusses a lot of complex themes such as the nature of man, the nature of war, and the humanity and the mentality of people. The chessboard is like a metaphor for the civilization of humanity. So that's the idea, the basic concept for The Great Game of Man. And the reason why I want to do it in LA because I feel that I'm from Vietnam, but I come to America since 2014, and I did not go to film school, but I feel like all you can learn from film is if you go to a public library or you go online, you can learn a lot from them. And LA is actually the best way, the best place to come and make connections. There's a lot of people gonna do stuff, and there's a lot of filmmaker, a lot of DP. I feel it's one of the best place for you if you want to make it in the industry. I remember when I first start, it's kind of difficult for me because I just come to LA. I do not know anybody. I do not know anybody in the industry. I do not have access to film school. I do not have the fund to go to film school. All I have is my laptops and several books and some material, some script in my head. That's how I start. So I think of the concept for my film. I want it to be low budget, so that's why I love playing chess. So I bought a chess ball from the UK, and that's the one that I use in the film. So at first it's a little bit difficult because I have no idea how to set up cameras and the light and all that, and how to write a story. I mean, I know how to write, but I don't know how to put it in screenplay format. So everything is new for me. I have to learn everything from scratch, and it's exciting, but it's also very difficult, and sometimes can be discouraging, sometimes can be frustrating. But I believe that if you like it, if you like doing it, you find a way. You find a way doing it, and the language definitely helps because if you're an immigrant, if you're an international student, if you're from another country and you cannot speak the language, then you cannot learn anything new at all in this country, in this new country. So I think that's one of the key for my education. I use the English language as my key to learn all what I need to learn. So that's definitely one of the disadvantages that a lot of international filmmakers have to face. I'd like to talk a little bit about my first film and how I distribute, because distribution is like the final part in the filmmaking. You spend a lot of time and energy in making a film. Now you have to distribute it, and it's super difficult. But I think now in this time and age, it's getting easier now that you can distribute online. I think that's the easiest part. But my first film, I have a lot of failure. I spent like almost like I remember it's $700 to distribute my first film, and 20 of them, and only one of them got some kind of recognition and award. So I definitely a lot of failure in distribution, but like my first film. And then in this second film, which is this one, The Great Game of Man, I learned from the past experience, and then I learned how to use my budget wisely in distributing. And then I got my first shot at the SMBTE festival. They are strictly for students, and they don't charge you any money for distributing your film. So it's completely free. If you're a student, if you have great material, great film, you can send your material to the SMBTE festival, and they take it. And if it's good material, then they will show it in the Chinese theater, which is a big deal. It's a big event. The filmmaker that I really admire in terms of storytelling is actually Quentin Tarantino, because I feel like he's the one that have the courage to write his screenplays and send a message, and then go out and make a film based on his visions. So I feel like out of all film, I love them all actually. There's so many great filmmakers in America and in the world, but I feel like Quentin Tarantino is the only one that actually in his film, because you have to understand that the vision on the screenplay doesn't necessarily translate properly to the screen that you see in theater. And I feel like Quentin is one of the few people that accomplished that. About how to find a team for your film, I feel like the best way to do it, some people would tell you that you can hire people for free. I don't recommend it. I recommend that you find some money, you can borrow from your relative, you can work for some time and gather some dollars, let's say $3,000 to $4,000, that should be enough. And then there's many ways to find people, but the easiest way to do it is to go on Craigslist, and you can post a gig online for free that doesn't charge you anything. What I think I love about Los Angeles is it's such an international city. It's such a dynamic city, and have pretty much everything from the street, the downtown, the beach, the mountain, and the people are from everywhere in the world. So I cannot think of a better place for a new filmmaker, or even a new persons in the industry to try and find their way into working for the industry. I think it's one of the best places, if not the best. So my advice for the international students who want to come to LA and do their things is first of all, you have to master the English language. And it can be difficult, but you have to do it, because without the English language you cannot communicate, you cannot learn from books, you cannot learn nothing from the online, you cannot even go to school to learn how to do it. So language is definitely one of the things you have to master first before you're thinking about moving to LA or even moving to the US. So do your best to learn the language before you come here. I feel that's the number one priority. Number two is, for me, I feel like a career in the entertainment industry is definitely a very tough one. So you don't want to go straight to it blindly. You want to make plan for it. You want to study about it first. So how about spending some time to study about it, and study about yourself too, to see if you're right for this kind of job, because it's not a normal job. It's not the doctor or lawyer kind of job. It's a very unique kind of job. And most people, I mean your relative, your parents, your friends, they might not understand why you do it, why you want to do it, and how you do it. They might not understand it. So there might not be a lot of support, or maybe they even against it. So that's something you have to think about before you commit yourself into this kind of job. So study the industry, know the in and out. If you're into fashion, you have to study about the fashion industry in America, in New York, in LA, whatever. You have to study it and know yourself. Study a little bit about yourself. See if you're right for it. So that's my best advice for it. Once you get past that, everything's getting simple after that.